guess what? A lot of people, there was a bombing of Russia, and a lot of people jumped and said it was, of Poland. A lot of people jumped and said it was Russia. So Lex Friedman, he said, suspected Russian missile hits Poland, a NATO nation. Do not escalate this war. We want peace. Not, you know what would help de-escalate the war? Quit saying that happened. That didn't happen. So you have fucking 114,000 likes. People all think that happened. That didn't happen. So if you want to de-escalate the war, you probably don't spread misinformation propaganda that comes right from Zelensky's lips about a fucking attack before you know what happened.
How many deaths were there?
There was 2.
2. So you think that... yeah, right.
2. And that got this trending. World War III was trending because of this. Because Ukraine bombed Poland. It wasn't Russia bombing Poland. It was Ukraine. And then Ukraine was saying, well, and then Zelensky, by the way, no, I like Lex Friedman. I like his show and all. Not too hard of a diss, but come on.
Come on, Logic.
And by the way,
your logic.
When I went right before the show, I went to his, he hasn't corrected it or taken it down or anything. And he hasn't tweeted anything else. He's kind of left it there. So
he said suspected. I imagine he thinks that's good.
He's a better person than that. That's from what I've seen of him.
Yeah,
anyway.
He reminds me of Johnny Five from Short Circuit. Johnny Five had a pure heart.
Yeah, I think he has a pure heart, this guy. Put it that way. Zelensky calls Russian missiles hitting Poland really significant escalation. Of course.
Of bullshit from Ukraine. Like nonsense things and Ghost of Kyiv nonsense.
Biden called so just so you know, it was Ukraine launching anti-missile missiles, and their missiles went and hit in Poland, and immediately Ukraine blamed it on Russia to try to get more American money into Ukraine to fight this, right?
And this was yesterday, and Zelensky came out again today, and he said, "I am sure it was not Ukrainian bomb that hit Poland."
Oh,
he's
really?
Coming out and saying it again.
I'd swear on Sean Penn's Oscar that.
So here, so Biden called a lid.
What?
And missed the G20 dinner. So they're all at the G20 thing right now. And so Biden called a lid. Now I had to look up what that was. I didn't know what that was. So when the president calls a lid, that means there's no more news coming out of the White House today. So stop asking questions. Everything we said today has been said. No more news, right? That's what I think that's what that's called when they say called a lid. Mm. And then he didn't go to the G20 dinner. Yeah. Why? Because he's having a little sundowner episode, is what I think. And then after he doesn't go to the dinner and he called a lid on the day, he then calls a press pool. And you want to see what happens so then, because of this bombing, he then calls a press pool, and this is what he says. This is almost comical. It is comical. Let's watch.
Mr. President, can you tell us what you know so far?
So they bring all the press in. They're all sitting around. This is at there's Trudeau, by the way, right? They're all
the greats here.
They're all sitting around. And then so the press is, and they go, okay, you can ask questions now. So they start asking questions. Watch this.
Mr. President, can you tell us what you know so far about the explosion in Poland, sir?
No. Thanks, Press. Thanks, Press. Thank you, Press. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
And that was it. Thanks, Press. Go. They bring all those reporters in. The reporters go, hey, can you tell us what happened in Poland? And he just goes, no. All right, buddy. See ya. Goodbye. They called a press pool for that. Do you want to see it again? I'll show it to you.
Mr. President, can you tell us what you know so far about the explosion in Poland, sir?
No. Thanks, Press.
He says it great, too.
Can you tell us what you know about the explosion in Poland? No. All right, see ya. Bye, everybody.
Couldn't they do Justin Trudeau's like, I thought it was dumb when I put on and took off a mask on camera at that fake thing I did. This is amazing.
The way he says it's great. The way he says it sounds...
No.
Have you found any evidence about this explosion in Poland? No. We're still looking for Jackie. Wait on it. Like,
and by the way, you see these things? These are syringes. Those aren't parasols. Just so you know.
What?
Look at that upper crust meth den. That's what that is. Room full of junkies high off their 7th booster. That's what that room is. That's
what Macron. He looks very young.
Yes.
Yeah.
He looks very young next to the Trudeau boy. and the Sunak boy.
Here's a story about
The
it.
United States and its NATO allies are investigating a blast that killed 2 people in Poland. The explosion happened on Tuesday in the Polish village of Prusewidów, about 3.5 miles from the border with Ukraine. Photos obtained by Reuters showed a damaged farm vehicle lying on its side next to a large crater. Ukrainian and Polish authorities said the blasts were caused by Russian-made missiles. Moscow has denied responsibility, but the incident raises fears the Ukraine war could spill over its borders.
So that's from Reuters. And then here is the Erdogan, the head of Turkey. He said Russia had nothing to do with it. Clearly, no one's buying what Zelenskyy is selling to fuel the war, not even NATO member Turkey.
Base.
So
There was a little bit of truth in that Telegraph video, though, because the S-300 is a Soviet missile.
Oh. Well, here is, if you look at this from a motive standpoint, what is more plausible, that Russia struck Poland, which MOD have now denied, just because they love fighting multiple fronts at once, or Ukraine has tried to do some kind of false flag to bring NATO into this conflict directly? I would say that. I would probably say that one.
I would say, isn't it they try to shoot down a missile or something and they didn't do it on purpose, Ukraine, and they go, let's just say Russia did it?
Yeah,
That's what it
that's
seemed
what
like to
happened.
me. Yeah.
So here is from Ukraine's weapons tracker. So what crashed in the village, Poland today? With the cooperation of Blue Boy 1969, we analyzed the available photos of fragments and came to a clear conclusion that they belong to the 48D6 motor of the 5V55 series missile of it's a Ukrainian missile. I'm done saying all that shit.
Yeah.
So they say it's a Ukrainian. Yep. What do you think of that?
I thought we were giving them nicer missiles. Why are they using their old crappy missiles when we
Right?
Who's got the good missiles that we keep
Where are
sending
the
them?
good missiles? So, were you surprised at how quickly, Jackson, that everybody got onto the right story? Because even President Biden said that he now believes it was a Ukraine missile.
It was weird that they let it go as long as it did. You know, I think they were panicked and freaking out as to how to respond to the whole thing, because I mean, if you looked at the story, even by like 3 p.m. LA time, all of if you just looked up Poland airstrike, all of it said Russian missile hits Poland city, whatever the city's name is. But the reason why I'm not surprised is because if they said that this was Russia, presumably it would have been on, they would have said it was on purpose if they went to that extent, you know, and that would have been an Article 5, you know, violation. It would have triggered Article 5. So I guess now I'm just left wondering who's going to win the war between Poland and Ukraine now that they're beefing.
So Article 5 is that's the article that says if you attack one NATO state, everybody joins in. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and it did trigger Article 4, which says that they have to confer based upon the perceived security threat to a member state. But then last night they came out, I think they kind of said we're not going to do the meeting anymore because they came out and said that it was actually Ukraine.
Do you think it's because it might be hard to make people think that Russia deliberately did an airstrike on some random Polish farm equipment, killing only 2 people with a whole missile? That just seems a little hard to swallow.
Those Polish farmers were coming for Putin's neck.
We'll see you November 19th and 20th in Austin, Texas. November 26th, that's the Saturday after Thanksgiving, in Burbank. And then all December, we're going to be in Los Angeles doing Friday night shows. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all the tickets and become a premium member. While you're there, you get all of our videos unedited. jimmydore.com, not Jimmy Dore Comedy.